Yes, you guys, if you followed the last video, you may know I have a brand new set of stage 8s here. So these stage 8s came out in, I believe, 98, they say. I thought it was earlier. I think I said 96 in my last video, but I was wrong. And I remember when they came out, but I had no idea that they were a stage 8 or that there even was stages. In fact, I learned about the stages like 6 months after I started the channel. And these are 139 stage 8, so 8 inches. And I never rode a pair of 8-inch stage 8s. I only rode the 129s, which were 7.6 in overall width, because we were all riding small boards back then. Now these weigh the same as a stage 11, so they're like 376, which is basically the exact same. I believe they're 55 millimeters tall. And really the only thing, just looking at them, that is any different is the fact that there is very little kingpin clearance compared to a stage 11. But now compared to these stage 7s, you can see there was a big change in the way they look. These have a very V-shaped hanger, and these ones have a nice clean swoop. So I think these are a much better looking truck. And I'm really interested to set these up and see how they feel. So on with that. Those are viciously tight. These have a substantially lighter pop feel than the stage 7s, like a lot. Even with 52 millimeter wheels to balance it out, these still feel lighter off the bat than a stage 7, even though they're the same weight. They actually have a very similar pop feel to a stage 9 or 10, except that they're just a bit heavier. I can feel it. Whoa, where's the turning? Oh. There is literally no turning on these, and I don't know if that's just old bushings that need to break in or will never break in, but they're almost unrideable to me. And they're doing that thing where they stick to one side the way old Indies used to do whenever you'd land on them hard. So I do remember new trucks used to suck to break in, and yup, but I think the, you know, almost 20-year-old bushings are adding to that a lot. All right, so let's spitball here for a minute. So the pop feel for these trucks from stage 7 to 8 changed dramatically. 7 had a really heavy feel, which worked very good with the tiny wheels. Now, wheels got quite a lot bigger around 95, 96. Dudes went from like 45 to 50 to all of a sudden like 50, 55. Some guys were even skating 60s. And this all happened because of the Eastern Exposure videos. Those dudes were all skating crusty terrain, riding bigger wheels. And then that became super popular from those Eastern Exposure series. If you haven't seen them, I recommend checking them out. I'm sure you can find parts on YouTube. Fred Gall, Matt Reason, Reese Forbes, to name a few people that are worth checking out. Okay, but if you were riding 55 millimeter wheels all of a sudden, first off, you're gonna need the clearance. These are guaranteed taller than the stage 7 by at least a couple mils. So you're getting a couple more mils less wheel bite. Also, making the pop feel so much lighter is gonna balance out the fact that everybody else is riding bigger wheels now. This is also gonna explain why somebody like Rowley might jump onto a stage 8 and be like, these are awful. This doesn't work at all. Like, you're gonna have to change your deck, your wheels, like everything feels totally different, unless the Indy stage 7s always felt too heavy for you. Okay, next, it's also gonna explain why Ventures may have gained so much popularity. And I know I rode Ventures at least 50% of the time back in the late 90s and early 2000s. Next, I gotta see if I can swap these out because I cannot ride bushings this tight. And as you can see, if I loosen the nut anymore, I'm not even gonna be able to skate these. Yes, they're the same height, so I can swap out these bushings. That is good news. The top ones are a bit lower though, because that's why the stage 11s have more clearance now. All right, let's try that out. That feels more like my trucks. These old ones just feel petrified, even just trying to sink my thumbnails into them. Amazing what a difference being able to turn makes. All right, you guys, first things first, I got a little treat for you here at a vintage spot. First scratches on vintage trucks on a vintage spot. Pretty stoked on that. That was a super fun session. But I couldn't shake the feeling that these trucks feel heavy. They ground really nice. Again, the metal feels great. It might have just been because they're new trucks, like not skated, so it's nice and smooth. I can't tell you, but the old metal does feel good. The turning is starting to break in, so it's starting to feel good. Skated a crazy little half pipe the other day that's a lot harder to skate than it looks. But now back to these trucks. So the overwhelming feeling I get from them is that they do feel heavy. And I don't think they weigh any more than my stage 11s. So I need to settle this. I'm gonna put the stage 11s back on because the turning feels better to me, the pop feel was better, and I want to have an 8 1/4 truck again instead of an 8-inch truck. And I'm gonna try and solve it to see if these actually are heavier feeling or if it's all in my imagination. So the stage 11s definitely feel lighter in the pop feel, but just holding the board, it's basically identical. The stage 8s also definitely turn sharper. So these have a slightly slower turn. They feel more stable as a result, and they just kind of feel like home. I mean, these are the trucks that I'm really used to right now. The stage 8s weren't far off. So as we go along in the series, we'll get to the stage 9 and the stage 10, see how those differ. But there's a lot of similarities between the 8s and the 11s. And I do think when Indy put out the stage 11, they were kind of going back to what worked from some of the older models. Anyways, that's all I have to say, you guys. I want to go skate now. I've filmed enough for you, okay? Just be grateful. Yeah, I'm gonna do that now. So there's probably things I wanted to say and I forgot. Have fun. Go skate.